To Tarot by the Bay, I'm David. Okay, the next presidential debate happens 2 weeks from now. I'm recording this on Thursday, June 13th. The next debate is June 27th. That is when it is scheduled. However, a couple days ago, Sean Hannity put out this. He was talking with someone, and he put out the following statement. Yeah, let me get this right. Hannity was talking with Harris Poll Chairman Mark Penn and said, now there are some saying that Donald Trump might be wise to just pass on the first debate, wait until he's nominated, and then debate him. As a little reminder from these articles I'm looking at, Sean Hannity coached Donald Trump, as did Chris Christie, on debating. It was part of his debate team for the 2020 election. And now it looks like he's floating up a trial balloon to see if people will react strongly one way or another if Donald Trump backs out of this first debate. Interesting. So let's take a look at the debates. I've had people asking about the debates. I've been not reading on them because they were a ways off. We're a couple weeks away. The energy is going to be sort of firming up a little bit here. So let's go take a look. What's the energy around this first debate? How is it looking? Is it going to go off? Entertainment purposes only. The moon card. Well, it might be a little more up in the air than it should be at this point. The moon card is about mysteries, muddying the waters, confusion, cray-cray, all sorts of stuff. Again, if you've got Sean Hannity throwing out a trial balloon of, people are saying, which means nobody's saying it, right? Because that's just, a typical way for Trump and his acolytes to lie. Say, people are out here saying this. No, that's their way of saying, we're saying this. Are you guys going to react positively or negatively to this statement? So they're wondering if they can back out of it. I can't imagine why. 'Cause isn't this the man that uses only the best words? Crossed with the two of coins and the page of pentacles underneath there. Coins are about health. It's also about values and wealth. Okay. Maybe Trump is not feeling quite as good. Maybe they're looking at the value of the debate and that Trump may not come out of this debate looking quite as good as he did going into it. It could also very well be, and I'm going to get taken to the cleaners here because I've got about a week left here before the, less than that, the summer solstice. When I had thrown cards on Trump's health last, I saw something that looked like a health issue coming up for him, a big one. And it could have happened from around May 17th or so, and a few weeks after that. When I had thrown on that spread, I asked, how will he be feeling around the summer solstice? And it looked like whatever the health event was had taken hold by then. I don't know if the energy's changed on that. We haven't reached the summer solstice yet. He's still vertical, so there is that. But again, these pentacles here, they could be showing, what's the worth? He might make little gains if he's lucky, but he might make big losses if he's not lucky. It could also be that he's not feeling so hot right now. Maybe mentally he's not quite as sharp, or there's a decline in his health that's driving this. All right, in the past, we've got the Five of Coins being left out in the cold. In the past, when Trump's debated Biden, he tried to interrupt Biden, talk over him, and trigger Joe Biden. Most of you are aware of this. Some of you may not be. That Joe Biden has a stutter problem. And he's had a stutter problem since he was a kid. And for the most part, he has overcome this. But people with stutters, from what I've read, I don't have one, so I can't speak to this out of personal knowledge. When they're under stress or anxiety, it could trigger a stuttering event, which was speculated to be the reason why Trump kept interrupting Biden, talking over Biden, saying things to piss Biden off, which led to that great moment where Biden just looks at him and goes, "Will you just shut up, man?" But it didn't work. All those tactics didn't work. Also, Trump doesn't have a platform that he's running on right now. There's no platform. What's he going to go on the debates and tout? He can't tout anything. It's just, he's got all he can do is attack Biden. That's all he can do. There's nothing that he's got out there other than saying, I got 3 Supreme Court justices on there that overturned Roe v. Wade. Oh, yeah, and I gave a tax cut to billionaires and big corporations. That's about his 2 biggest achievements. Good story, bro. I think the other thing is, and might be closer to it, this 5 of coins, might be he didn't negotiate very good deals for these debates. The couple of debates that are out there, because the way they're going to be set up, Trump won't be able to talk over Biden because his mic is going to be muted. And the folks hosting it are a little bit more in the neutral side of the news, as opposed to like being Fox News or something like that. So he's going into an arena where he's not going to be coddled and given softballs. His microphone's going to be muted, so he can't be disruptive. He's actually going to have to act like a human being, a normal human being in the normal world. And that ain't exactly Donald Trump's wheelhouse, if you know what I mean. Current situation is the Empress. Honestly, for all the talk that Donald Trump wants to debate Joe Biden, he's lazy. He doesn't want to prepare. He doesn't want to, he's too busy doing other things than to get ready for this debate, which is probably why, Sean Hannity's out here floating the idea that we should delay the debate till after the nomination. Maybe thinking that once Trump gets the nomination, he'll get off his butt, his copious orange behind, and do something. Right now, he's just he's in grievance mode, yelling at everybody that, he just got convicted of 34 felonies, how unfair it is, and then raising money off of it, but he's not actually doing anything political, much less anything to convince the American public that he's worth voting for. He's not prepared. He's going to come out of this debate looking like complete hot garbage. The overarching energy is the 3 of Swords, heartbreak, betrayal. I think the Trump team sees what's going to happen if he goes to these debates. And move this camera back a little bit. They see if he goes on these debates, he's going to flop. He's going to flop big time. It's not going to work out. And he's going to leave the stage. He's going to be livid. And then he's going to blame the messenger. He's going to blame Sean Hannity for his poor performance, not the fact that he didn't bother getting ready. He has no policies. So the lesson to be learned is the Knight of Cups. So what he has is he has proxies that go out there and carry his water. Go out there, talk to the news media, try and soften the blow if he backs out of it. If Trump goes forward with the debate and muffs it, then you're going to have a bunch of folks that are going to go on Fox News saying how awesome Donald Trump did on the debate floor and mopped Joe Biden with it. That, to me, makes the most sense. And the reason why it makes the most sense is that Trump lives in that fantasy world of his where, whatever he says is the truth. From a manifestation standpoint, that sounds pretty darn amazing. And his supporters just totally buy into the emperor wearing no clothes type of mindset that he's got. So, if all Trump does is watch Fox News, and all these senators and House members and Trump Trump supporters in Congress go out there and say how incredibly well he did, then he's going to believe he did incredibly well. Unless he really, really knows he blew it. In which case, he'll be thankful that they're out there telling everybody that he did really well, but he's going to be mad at the people that he felt disappointed him and didn't help him get ready for this. The outcome is the Hermit card. That's interesting. This is, to me, my first thought was, okay, I guess we're going to find out. I think he's going to go forward with these debates. I don't think Trump's going to retreat. And that would fit with Mark Penn's response. So when Hannity said, there's some even saying, there's nobody saying this, Mark, that Donald Trump might be wise just to pass on the first debate. What would you say to that? And Mark Penn said, I'd say he accepted it. He accepted it in the lion's den. If I were Donald Trump, I would have done some better negotiating here, but I don't think he can back out now without really looking cowardly. I think the debates will go forward, and we will see how the candidates do. I think Sterling read on this one last week. Can't remember the last time I've listened to Sterling all the way through. Sterling Psychic Medium. Most people will know him as Sterling. For those who don't know who Sterling is, he is an absolutely amazing intuitive. He has a podcast that he puts up once a week on the weekends. And he also does a bi-weekly collaboration with Linda G. He's a former, he might still be an executive, might be retired at this point. He's a former, I'll just say a former executive in the entertainment industry. So he's a very connected person, very intelligent, and he's got that executive mindset where he can condense his thoughts into 2 to 3 impactful statements. And you can just hit him with questions and he's got answers. And they're usually right. Now, Sterling was saying that he saw both candidates having their moments and having their gaffes. And that I think when people came away from it, it really doesn't change anything. That doesn't mean just because Sterling is all those things doesn't mean he's right about everything, but that's what his prediction was. So I want to look into it. How will Joe Biden do in the debates? How will Donald Trump do in the debates? Or maybe more to the point, I should ask, how do non-committed independent voters, women voters, and young people look at the debates? Because those are kind of the important ones, right? Let's look at that. How will the independents, female voters, young people, the ones that are going to be making the biggest difference in this election, not that every vote's not important, but we know MAGA is going to vote for Trump no matter what, and we know the Democrats will vote for Biden. So in the debate, the Democrats will likely say Biden did really well. The MAGA people will say Trump was the most magnificent debater ever. What do neither of those groups have to say about this debate? Okay, we're going to start off with the disappointment. Maybe Sterling was right. Maybe nobody stands out on this one. We've got disappointment, betrayal, and there's some thinking that needs to go on here. And the Empress. Wow, these are 2 cards that came up for Donald Trump on this one. Interesting. So, I think some people are going to leave they're going to leave this debate just disgusted and revolted. And it's going to give, I think it's going to give people things to think about. And what they have to think about is their well-being going forward. So picture, for instance, they talk about Social Security, welfare, things along those lines. And one candidate says, no, we need to support this. And the other candidate saying, we need to do better. We need to slash these things, raise retirement ages, privatize it for folks that are on these on Social Security, on Medicare or welfare or something along those lines that might have been supporting Donald Trump, they're going to be shocked to think that he wants to cut their benefits because they've been loyally supporting him, and now he wants to take money out of their pockets, and that's going to get them to thinking, wait a minute, which candidate is in my best interest? That would be an example of that. The question might be for Biden to Israel, and are you going to still support Israel? And he might talk about how Israel and the United States have had a long-standing relationship, and we're going to stand with Israel. And now the progressives are going to be really disappointed because of the way Israel has been prosecuting this war and the number of civilians that have died or been injured needlessly or starving. And it may cause them to step back and rethink their choices and who's best representing their choices. And for that latter example, all I would say is, and what do you think Trump would do if he was president? What do you think he's going to give Netanyahu? You think he's going to try and restrain him, or just give him every bomb and every missile and every instrument of war that Netanyahu would want to basically obliterate the population in Palestine? Sometimes it's not the lesser of two evils. Sometimes it's nice to be ideal, but you have to sort of pick your moments of your idealism versus here's the reality of the situation and make your best choices. Okay. In the past, we have the Seven of Wands. Look who came to join us. Hello. How are you? Okay. I had to pause for a second to get the cat break here. Let me turn on the overhead light. Maybe you'll be able to see him just a touch better. Black cat against a dark chair. Okay, so what are we looking at? In the past, we got the Seven of Wands. Here's the debates going on, the jockeying for the position, the negotiations being made. And I guess this would be the actual debate itself. Answering to questions or pivoting and not answering questions, which would be really annoying. I can see where people get annoyed. Because, the whole point of the debate is you ask a question, the last thing you need to do is have a politician pivot to answering the question they wanted to answer but wasn't asked. Current situation is the Queen of Cups. Because some folks are disappointed with it, they're going to take their time to think about who's best representing their values. They're not going to come away with really favoring one candidate over another, or maybe more to the point, if women, especially abortion, women's health rights, and the various rights that were taken away from women aren't being addressed well, especially by the Republican side, they may be very quiet about what they're going to do, but they will vote for who's in their best interest. Okay, Nico was not satisfied being in the chair, so they may not let people know exactly what they're thinking, but they are thinking. Trust me, there's a lot of thinking going on here. The overarching energy is the Nine of Cups. Instead, we get L, the hyperactive Torby. But they will make their decision. They know that they have an idea of who they want to vote for. They know somebody came out on top. And speaking of coming out on top, the cat he will not be denied his screen time. Welcome to the channel, Nico. Say hello to the guests up here. You're going to let everybody see your magnificent eyes. Guess not. Throwing me off my game here. No, but you got that Nine of Cups. The women absolutely know who's got their best interest at heart. And even the young people know. They may not be really happy with the choices that they've got, but they know what the right answer is. They may not like the right answer, but they know what the right answer is. And because they know what the right answer is, they may not be, they may not want to admit it to themselves yet, but the first debate's going to help them get there. So we moved Nico, and then we ended up with a little cat fight here. They're playing King of the Jungle, as I call it. You'll see that. So you guys will be ignoring this reading and watching cat antics off on the side over here. Okay. Lesson to be learned. Oh, God. Yeah, this is all about it. Eight of Swords. Lesson to be learned is the Eight of Swords. In the end of the day, women are tired of being victimized. Ignored. How far back are Trump and the Republicans going to take this country? Again, a lot of my audience, looking at the demographics, 75-80% are women, and about 75% are women over the age of like 65 years old or 55 years old. So most women here are very familiar with what it was like in the 60s and early 70s, where you couldn't get a bank account or you couldn't get a credit card. Everything had to be in your husband's name. Just absolute stupidity. And why should they give up their rights? There's one candidate that's going to support their rights and one candidate that's not. They're not going to be restricted by the color of the hat that they wear. The outcome is the Tower card. I think for some, there's going to be some people are going to look at these debates and say, what a complete and utter shit show that it was. Never going to watch one again. Some women watching this, or some people are going to watch this and really have their illusions shattered by the candidates, whether it's young people having their illusions shattered by Biden or women having their illusions shattered by Trump. But I think after they've done their thinking, looked at who's really going to represent their interests, the choice is going to be obvious. So I think for independent voters, for women, for young people, they're going to come away with an obvious choice on that one. I would certainly say it's much more likely to be Biden than Trump, because Trump doesn't have anything to offer those demographics. He's got nothing to offer. He has anger and revenge and stuff. Again, I was watching Hawk on TikTok. His comment was, for somebody who looks like me, if Trump's elected, I'm fine. Because I look like what he wants. I'm a white male. Heaven forbid you be a woman, a minority, or anybody on the LGBTQ plus side of the fence. Because he's going to make your life miserable. And for the young progressives out there who might be watching this, there's not many, I'm sure. Sorry. This is how the politics works right now in this country. You've got two choices, effectively. Yeah, you can vote for you can vote for RFK if you want to, or you can vote for another candidate if you want to. But really, you've got two choices. You have Trump and you have Biden. With Biden, you're going to continue your democracy, and there's probably going to be some legislation that protects the rights of women in the LGBTQ community. If Trump's elected, well, it's good times if you're a white male, and miserable times for anybody else. Okay. I'm just going to ask a general question. Last thing, Spirit, just a general message you would like to convey to the audience with regards to these debates in this situation. Okay? Strength card. I think Spirit's like, maintain your strength, maintain your focus. Don't get discouraged if your favorite candidate doesn't dominate the debates. In the end, the debates really only matter to a very small section or subsection of the voters. A really bad performance could undermine your candidate. I think of Dan Quayle. People of that era will understand Dan Quayle versus Lloyd Benson. That was like, y'all know the line I'm talking about. I knew John F. Kennedy and you're no John F. Kennedy. And Lloyd Benson was right. Strength card. King of Swords. I You have time for idealism, and you have time where you just got to make the right decision. And feelings have to be put aside. Very much the right decision. Women's rights are key here. You know, we rely on the strength of women, their compassion, but we also need the strength of men, too. We need to move away from the toxic masculinity and such. And we need to get to the black cats here. What's the last card in this? Is the Six of Cups, the nostalgia. You know, hey, don't be knocking my crystals off the ground here. Come here. You can sit on my lap. How about that? What do we have? There's got to be straight. You got to be strong. You got to get out and vote. Why? Because tough decisions need to be made. We can't go back in time. The time where there was this lovely relationship between politicians in the United States and we all loved our neighbors. I don't know if that time ever existed. You know, the Republicans, again, will point out that the 50s were this great time, but they never say which century. 50s were great if you were a white male like myself. But if you weren't a white male like myself, well, the 50s maybe weren't the greatest time ever. So, King of Swords. Do you want a dictator? Do you want somebody who leads? You got to make your choices as to what you want. You can King of Swords going into the future, or the Six of Cups going into the past, living in the past. You've got to make your choice as to which direction you want to go in this country. Recommend moving forward. Okay? And underneath is the Page of Pentacles. It's really, this election is an election of values. And your values are going to be on display for everyone. So make the value choice. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I have 2 other channels, Tarot of the 7 Seas, as well as Twin Tarot with Gary and David. I have links in the description, as well as on my community page. And I'll repost the links on the community page so it's the top post on the page. Thank you again for everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so my videos make it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome. We don't always have cats. Seldom do we get both cats on here. Don't bite me. I'm not prey. But we do have them. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for finding us. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next reading. Take care.